The once warm and inviting streets of Cabanatuan were now cloaked in an eerie chill that seemed to seep into the bones of anyone who dared to venture out after dark. Shadows danced in the Philippine city of Cabanatuan. They moved with a life of their own, flickering and shifting in the dim light, creating an unsettling atmosphere that made the hairs on the back of one's neck stand on end. A chilling tale spread from home to home. It was a story whispered in hushed tones, shared in the safety of dimly lit rooms, where the flicker of a candle seemed to ward off the encroaching darkness. It whispered through the streets. Something was wrong. The very air seemed to carry the weight of the unspoken fears, a palpable tension that hinted at something sinister lurking just out of sight. The number 666, a mark of evil, began to surface. It appeared suddenly, scrawled in red paint on walls and alleyways, a stark and terrifying symbol that sent shivers down the spines of those who saw it. Fear gripped the hearts of the people. The once bustling streets were now filled with anxious glances and hurried steps, as if the very shadows held the power to reach out and ensnare them. What was happening in their city? The story started subtly. At first it was just a few isolated incidents, easily dismissed as the work of pranksters or vandals. But as the sightings grew more frequent, the sense of dread became impossible to ignore. A number scrawled on a wall, then another and another. 666. It was as if the city itself was being marked, claimed by an unseen force that thrived on fear and chaos. The mark of the beast. It was a symbol that carried with it centuries of dark lore and ominous connotations, a harbinger of doom that seemed to herald the arrival of something truly malevolent. Panic swelled with each new appearance. The community, once tight-knit and trusting, began to fracture under the strain of the growing fear. Neighbors eyed each other with suspicion, and whispers of dark rituals and malevolent spirits spread like wildfire. An unnerving feeling settled over Cabanatuan. The city that had once been a beacon of warmth and hospitality now felt like a place where shadows held sway, and every corner seemed to hide a lurking threat. This was no childish prank. This was something darker. The people of Cabanatuan could feel it in their bones, a deep-seated dread that whispered of ancient evils and unseen forces at play. The city was changing, and with each new mark, the darkness grew closer. The number 666 strikes fear into many. It is a number that has been etched into the collective consciousness of humanity, a symbol of ultimate evil and malevolence. Throughout history, this number has been associated with the darkest of omens and the most sinister of prophecies. Christians see it as a symbol of the Antichrist, the devil's own mark. It is a representation of the ultimate adversary, the one who stands in opposition to all that is good and holy. The Antichrist is believed to be a figure who will rise in the end times, bringing with him a reign of terror and destruction. Its presence in Cabanatuan sent chills down spines. The people of this city could feel the weight of its significance, the dread that it carried. It was as if the very air was thick with foreboding, a palpable sense of impending doom that hung over the streets like a dark cloud. This was not a number to be taken lightly. It was a warning, a harbinger of the chaos and destruction that was to come. Those who saw it knew that they were in the presence of something truly malevolent, something that could not be easily dismissed or ignored. a sign of approaching darkness. The storm clouds gathering on the horizon were a metaphor for the turmoil that was about to be unleashed. The silhouette of a lone figure standing in the dark was a reminder of the isolation and fear that would soon grip the hearts of many. The stories of the Antichrist are ancient and terrifying. They have been passed down through generations, each retelling adding to the sense of dread and horror. Medieval paintings and ancient texts depict a being of unimaginable evil, a figure who will bring about the end of days, a being of pure evil, destined to bring chaos upon the world. The imagery of a city in chaos and flames rising in a dark forest are symbolic of the destruction that the Antichrist will bring. It is a vision of a world turned upside down, where order and peace are replaced by anarchy and fear. The number 666 is his calling card. It is a mark that signifies his presence, a sign that he is near. Whether carved into stone or scrawled as graffiti on an old wall, it is a reminder that the forces of darkness are always lurking, waiting for the right moment to strike. To see it is to be reminded of the coming darkness. The flickering light in a dark hallway and the scared eyes peering through a window are images that evoke a sense of fear and unease. They are a reminder that the darkness is never far away, that it can come for us at any moment. In Cabanatuan, that darkness felt all too real. The ominous lighting and the fearful expressions of the people were a testament to the power of the number 666. It was a symbol that could not be ignored, a mark that signified the presence of something truly evil. The people of Cabanatuan knew that they were living in the shadow of the Antichrist, and that the darkness was only just beginning. The markings appeared overnight. It was as if the city had been visited by some dark force while everyone slept. The morning light revealed a chilling sight that no one could have anticipated. On walls, doors, even cars, the number was everywhere, a sinister signature left behind by an unknown hand. It was as if the entire city had been claimed by some malevolent entity. 666, always 666. The repetition of the number was unnerving, a constant reminder of something dark and foreboding. It was as if the number itself held some kind of power over the city. The city was being marked. Each new day brought more sightings, more places defaced by the ominous number. It was as if the city was under siege by an invisible enemy. But by who and why? Fear turned to paranoia. Neighbors suspected neighbors. The sense of community that once held the city together was unraveling. People began to look at each other with suspicion, wondering who among them could be responsible. The once peaceful city was on edge. Rumors spread like wildfire. Every whispered conversation seemed to add fuel to the fire of fear. People spoke of strange sightings, of shadowy figures moving through the streets at night. Some whispered of a satanic cult operating in the shadows. The idea of a group of people dedicated to dark rituals and sinister deeds took hold in the collective imagination of the city. Others spoke of a curse, an ancient evil that had been awakened, bringing misfortune and terror to the city. Superstitions that had long been forgotten were suddenly remembered and given new life. Cabanatuan, once a place of joy, was now a breeding ground for fear. The city's vibrant life had been replaced by a sense of dread. The streets that were once filled with laughter and activity were now eerily quiet. The city held its breath, waiting for the other shoe to drop. Every day felt like a countdown to some unknown catastrophe. The tension was palpable, a heavy weight that hung over everyone.
The markings were everywhere. No place seemed safe from the reach of this dark force. It was as if the city itself was being consumed by the number. It felt like we were being watched, like something evil had its eyes on us. The feeling of being constantly observed added to the growing sense of paranoia, like something evil had its eyes on us. The sense of being hunted, of being prey to some unseen predator was inescapable. Every shadow seemed to hide a threat, every dark corner a potential danger. We didn't know who to trust anymore. The bonds of trust that once held the community together were fraying. Friends turned into strangers, and strangers into potential threats. The city was descending into chaos, and there seemed to be no end in sight.
Those who saw the markings firsthand spoke of strange occurrences, eerie figures lurking in the darkness, a cold, heavy feeling in the air. Their words painted a picture of something truly sinister.
One woman claimed to have seen a hooded figure just before the mark appeared on her door.
A man swore he felt a cold hand on his shoulder as he passed a wall defaced with the number.
These were not just stories. They were chilling accounts from terrified people. Not everyone believed the supernatural theories. Skeptics dismissed the markings as pranks, the work of teenagers with too much time on their hands. Others saw it as a form of social commentary, a reflection of the anxieties of the time.
But even the skeptics couldn't deny the effect the markings had on Cabanatuan. The fear was palpable. The city was divided.
Was this the work of pranksters or something far more sinister?
The markings eventually stopped appearing. Life in Cabanatuan slowly returned to normal, but the fear lingered. The incident left an unforgettable scar on the city's psyche.
Even today, the incident is spoken of in hushed tones. A reminder that even in the hustle and bustle of daily life, darkness can lurk around any corner. The events of that time serve as a chilling tale, a warning that some things are best left undisturbed.
The Cabanatuan 666 markings remain an enigma. No culprit was ever caught. No logical explanation ever fully surfaced. The incident serves as a stark reminder of the power of the unknown. Was it a prank, a social statement, or something more sinister? The answer is lost to time. The mystery lives on in the hearts and minds of those who lived through it. A chilling testament to the enduring power of fear and the mysteries that continue to haunt our world.